And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator of and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics related topics, including, but not limited to, friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, elastic force, a whole range of topics. After we have learned the science, after we've conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the class. Then, once they've selected their car, they take a picture of their car, they shoot a video of their car, they weigh the car, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, the materials the car is made from, all of that. They do all of that, make all those observations, put that information into a spreadsheet, and then they set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a tournament and race the cars, and they observe how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? Why do they think that was? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on everything they've learned in the class? So, at the end of the day, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars, we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about how to bring All About Aerodynamics to your school, or your organization, or your special event, all you have to do is go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, or you can find us on Instagram at AA Aerodynamics, and all the information you need is in the bio. You can contact me, and I will give you all the information you need. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is All About Aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. So what is At the Track Live? At the Track Live is where I have the opportunity to introduce new cars into the fleet. I mentioned that I have 400 cars that I bring in for the students to choose from, but altogether in the fleet there are currently 922 different cars. And before I can add to that number, I have cars in storage. I have to make sure that I take a picture, that I number the cars, that I add them to my spreadsheet so that I can be sure that I'm putting the same cars back in the same place and making them easy to find when I have to go and work with a new group of students. And that was boring work, so I created At the Track Live to make it a little more interesting. So now I can introduce those new cars, crack those open, take a look at them, get my picture, get my video, do a little review, and then since the track is already set up, then we can go ahead and race the cars and see how they perform. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to atthetrack.live, and you will have 3 options. You'll have the YouTube stream link, the Twitch stream link, which you don't need if you're already watching because you're here. The third option is the most important one. That is the one that says choose your car. You select that one, and you are taken to this page. On this page, I don't know what happened to my feed, but don't worry about that because you can see all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At the Track Live fleet listed and cataloged. And all you have to do is find the car that you want and click on that car. Let's say it's this 71 Dodge Challenger. Click on that. You can see a close-up view of the car, and you can see the reflection in the mirror to see if the car is it a plastic body on a metal base? Is it a metal body on a plastic base? In some cases, with some of our older cars, the cars are in fact metal on metal. And those cars are not usually the ones that I recommend to be chosen because they're just too heavy to be on the track and be competitive. So that is not usually the best route to go. But if that's what you want to do, you can do it. And I know that some people who are coming from gravity track backgrounds are more used to selecting certain types of cars. And those cars usually are the metal on metal cars. But that, again, that's just not the kind of car that has success on our track historically, because the weight is just going to, there we go, the weight is going to do those cars in on the back end of our track. We have a flat drag track, and drag, friction, and gravity are the main forces that are working against the cars. And with that being the case, a heavy car toward the back end of the track just starts to slow down, and you can see it. It's clear, and you want a car that's going to be in between about 32 grams and 36 grams. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to tell that from looking at the picture, so sometimes you just have to kind of go with your gut. Hey, Rough Shot, hey, Virgo. Let's see. So Rough Shot, his pick, he's going with 221. And we're going to see which car that is. Oh, he's bringing back the SlideKick. And I have a suspicion why he's bringing it back, because we did have sort of a monumental shakeup in our overall standings. And the SlideKick may be able to come in and now grab that top spot. So once you select your car, then we are going to take that car, add it in with the cars that I've pulled and introduced new into the fleet, and have a tournament. And if your car comes out on top in that tournament, you get to take on our fastest in fleet car. And our fastest in fleet car for the longest time had been the BlitzSpeeder. I had called it the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet, and it was proving that right week in and week out. It was just destroying cars. It rarely had any competition at all. One of the few times it did have some serious competition was from this car, the SlideKick. And the SlideKick was right there with the drift BlitzSpeeder, and could have become our fastest in fleet champion, but it did not do it. But last week, Never Ending picked the ultimate sleeper car. He picked this one. He picked the Dogfighter. The Dogfighter, this airplane, old school, propeller-driven, airplane-inspired Hot Wheels car, defeated the BlitzSpeeder, like, shockingly. And it defeated it, I believe it was 2 races in a row. And I think everybody who was watching was pretty much stunned, because it just was not something that we expected, especially from this car, which does not follow any of the rules that we have kind of established for what cars need to do and what they need to have in order to be successful on the track, starting with this back end. This back end, this tail here, is the only point of contact the car has with the launching block. Usually, we want a lot of surface area to contact the launching block so that it can get pushed out and get a good consistent launch. When cars have one small point of contact or even 2 small points of contact, they tend not to get consistent launches, and that creates an issue with friction because they're bouncing around from side to side on the track. Aerodynamically, when we look around, now obviously the airplane part of this is going to be aerodynamic, but when we look at the front, and we're talking about aerodynamics, we've got this part right in the front. This little medallion kind of thing right here. And you would think that the air would build up against that and work to slow this car down. It does have openings around the edges, so the air can ultimately get through there and flow back past the car. But the issue and the problem is that how is that not slowing this thing down? And so everything that we've sort of thought and observed about these Hot Wheels cars got totally thrown out the window because of the dogfighter. And the dogfighter then went on to do well in the races and then beat the BlitzSpeeder, which was absolutely the last thing that I thought would happen. And I especially didn't think this car would be the one to do it. But there is a but, there's a little asterisk. We had a little bit of controversy. And the controversy is this, what Roughshod just brought up. So, when these cars launch, well, let me begin even further back. In order to kind of observe some of the physics concepts and ideas that I'm teaching the students, I needed the cars to move at a higher rate of speed and faster than they could move with the sort of standard off-the-shelf Mattel Hot Wheels launchers. So what I ended up doing was designing a custom launcher, getting it 3D printed, making the different parts, and the goal with that launcher was to create a lot more force, because the more force I can exert on the cars at the beginning, the faster they're going to travel down the track. We're going to have more exciting races, more spectacular crashes, and be able to observe some of those things, including and especially Isaac Newton's third law of motion: for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when a car hits one side of the track, it's going to bounce back to the other side, and you start to see the cars bounce back and forth, and that's something the students can observe, that they can't really do that at lower speeds. Also, the faster cars move, and faster any object moves through the air, the more drag has an impact on that object. So it's one of the reasons why when we put the cars in the wind tunnel, that's so important, because these cars are moving at extremely high rates of speed, scale speed, and so drag has an impact. So you want a car that can lessen the impact of drag. Anyway, all that's to say that I created the launcher to fire the cars out really fast. Problem is, there's so much force on the cars right when they come out that they tend to go up into the air, and we were having crash after crash. It was just constant crashes. Cars were flying into the air and just crashing. And so I used a slow motion camera to see exactly what was happening. And in fact, the cars were getting pushed up and launching up into the air. The solution, it turns out, was to create this. I built this, built is strong. I just put together these 3 acrylic pieces, and you can see all the scuff marks right here across the top. This slides over the top of the launcher. So what happens is when the cars launch out, they go up, they hit the top of this, and then they come back down on the track. And it happens like in a split second. The cars come out, boom, they hit it, and they're back on the track. It's very quick. Well, this is the acrylic launcher that I use for most standard Hot Wheels cars. But every once in a while, we have trucks or taller Hot Wheels cars that require me to use a different cover. And so if we have a taller car, I use this acrylic cover. And the difference between the two is really this 1/4 inch piece right here at the bottom. So that's the difference in height. It's about 1/4 of an inch, which doesn't sound like much. But what happens is if we have a taller car against a standard car, the taller car is fine. The taller car hits, comes back down. But the standard car has a problem because now it's going up in the air an extra 1/4 inch, which again doesn't sound like much, but it makes a difference because now this car is going up higher into the air, then it hits, then it comes back down. And it basically takes longer for the cars to correct themselves when they come back down. So the Dogfighter is a taller car because of that tail on the airplane wing. And when we put it into the launcher, we had to use the taller acrylic cover, which meant that the BlitzSpeeder, when it came out, it had to go up an extra 1/4 of an inch. So yes, the Dogfighter won, but the BlitzSpeeder's performance was so uncharacteristic that it made me think there was probably maybe something going on as far as it having a little bit of a disadvantage because we used a taller cover. So, had to remedy that. Science, that's what everything's based around. We had to create an experiment to see if we could rectify that problem. So I went to the this place up the street that deals with acrylics. I got acrylic cut and ended up building this special acrylic, this monster here. It is a reversible cover, and so it's 18 inches wide. And the reason is because it can slide over the track this way, but then it can also be reversed because our races, we change lanes after each race. And if you look at it straight on here, you can see that one side is up a little higher. So this side is a 1/4 of an inch higher than this side. This is the height of the standard launcher right here. This is the height of the taller launcher. I'm sorry, acrylic cover. So what we can do now is slide this over the launcher, and if the Dogfighter is on this side, it can use this higher cover, no advantage, and the smaller car can now use the standard acrylic cover height, and so no advantage. So when we use this today, we're going to find out, is the Dogfighter faster or did it get some kind of advantage? And as a matter of fact, whatever car comes out on top, let's say the SlideKick is the winner of the tournament today, we would still use this because it's going to have to race against the Dogfighter. So this is finally going to eliminate any issues that where one car gets an advantage over the other. And it's usually the bigger car that would get the advantage when we use the taller cover. So I am very excited to see that race. So the BlitzSpeeder just won't die. The BlitzSpeeder was beaten out by the Gazella R after about 16 weeks, came back, took its title back. It was beaten by the Dogfighter last week. Can it come back and redeem itself? But now that the SlideKick is in the mix, that's a whole other issue. So we're going to find out today. And again, this thing, so the reason I made it so long is so that it can be reversible, because if the taller car is in this lane for the first race, then this is the way the setup will be. When the car's in this lane, the taller car's in this lane, we just flip it around, and now we've got it, how we need it. So this is kind of exciting, and I'm looking forward to those races and seeing if the Dogfighter really is the ultimate sleeper car, or if it took advantage of a loophole. We're going to find out. We're going to find out and get that all straightened out. Hey, Beyblader, glad you could stop by. And let's see, we have cars to introduce. We have some cars that were selected during Wind Tunnel Wednesday. We've got 2 cars. So Caitlin and Neverending both selected cars. So did Christopher. I just don't remember which of these 2 that he selected, but if he shows up, then we'll get that straightened out. But I do need to introduce some new cars to the fleet. I grabbed a bunch out of storage, and I'm not sure which ones we may already have in the fleet and which ones we don't. So I will be checking. So this one, we have the Back to the Future time machine, but I'm pretty sure we already have one of these DeLoreans. Yep, and it's just sitting right there. The one that we have is, it's one of the ID cars. So it is number 225. I don't know that it's probably going to be nicer than this one. This is just a mainline basic car, whereas the ID cars have a lot more detail. I don't know if the weights are different, but the car itself, here's the version that we have, and you can tell just looking at the wheels. This one has just the standard Hot Wheels wheels. That one has some very nice higher end wheels, and also that one looks to be metal on metal, whereas this one is plastic. It's metal on plastic, which probably suggests that well, actually it looks like no. It looks like it's that one's metal on plastic. This one is, well, this one's metal on plastic too. So again, they're the same there. Yeah, I don't see enough differences to justify putting this in. So this will go into the prize bin, and some student will have the opportunity to select that car if they win a game, if they do something, have good citizenship, things like that. All right, let's see. I have so many Batmobiles in the collection, Lamborghinis. There's certain cars that there's just a lot of. Turns out Mustangs. I have a lot of Mustangs, and we may have another one. There's this one. I don't even know if the Hot Wheels versions have all that much. There's all that much that's different, but we have one here. It is the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. So I'm going to look that up and see if we've got one. Ford. We have a Ford Mustang funny car, Ford Mustang GTD, and I know that if I look under the years, there are a lot of Mustangs, but this one's kind of cool. It's got this, I almost want to say it's like metallic matte paint. I know those two things don't really exactly match up, and I don't know if it's going to come across as well on the screen as in person, but we're going to crack this open. Oh, there's something on the back. Let's see. Ford Mustang Dark Horse, born in 2024 in Detroit, Michigan. Designer Ford. Style, speed, and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to the 2024 Mustang Dark Horse. This track-ready next-generation pony car offers high-end performance with its impressive 500 horsepower engine. Okay, doesn't mean anything so much with the Hot Wheels version, but, you know, why not have another Mustang in the fleet? So here we go. Let's crack this open. And with the, let's see, with the dog fighter, let's check the weight on that, because we know that the BlitzSpeeder weighed in at 32.4 grams. The dog fighter is weighing in at 36.2, so it's right at the top end. The BlitzSpeeder was at the low end of that range, and the dog fighter is at the top end. So that is another little interesting thing to keep in mind. Let's go over here and take a look at the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And I think I'm going to need to swap out the background just so that this thing's a little more visible, get a little more contrast. But these, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Hot Wheels just makes a disproportionate amount of Mustangs, or maybe I'm just buying a disproportionate amount of Mustangs. Either way, it's quite a few in the fleet. And let me go ahead and get my video going. Put this in and add this car to the fleet. We now have yet another Mustang. This is the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. I suppose in the real version there are differences in terms of the engine and the setup and other sort of mechanical things and features that make these different. For us, unless there's some difference in the design, it's hard to see how one really differs from the other. And maybe that's another. I have all these side races that I want to have at some point, and I think a Mustang showdown may be necessary. Ford Mustang Dark Horse. I mean, I like the paint job. It's got the black on the top with some blue stripes. I like what they did with the headlights. I noticed there was some writing on the license plate. It even has the Mustang emblem right on the grill. And you can actually see if I can get that to come into focus. It's a little hard to see. Right. It's in there, believe me. Oh, I know what I'll do. Got another light. Put some more light on it in a different way. Try this. Let's get the focus. Right. There it is. So right there, they've got the Mustang emblem logo right there on the grill, and I still am very curious as to how Hot Wheels, Mattel, how they decide which cars are going to get those little extra touches and which ones are not. And let's see, even we've got the license plate there on the back with some writing. I can't tell what that says. Let's see. We can. I know what I'll do. Let's see. Let's get it here. And then let's zoom on in. Dark Horse. There we go. And it's even got the little Mopar symbol there. So they really went all out, and it shows that they can do it. They just don't do it for all the cars. But that is nice little added touch there. And even what they did with the headlights, to get that look, that kind of reflective look as you turn the car and the light hits it in a different way. It actually comes across like these are actual headlights. This is a good job. So I'm glad that I didn't already have one of these in the fleet because I really like this one. Let's get this here. Switch over to photo. And we now have the Ford Mustang Dark Horse in the fleet as our newest addition, car number 923. Right here. Boom. There we go. And we are in business now because we have our first car that is going to be representing the new cars in the fleet, and then those cars that are new to the fleet will end up going up against the cars selected by viewers. Hey, never ending. We have, yes, never ending. We were just talking about that a minute ago, and we do in fact have our new acrylic cover that has one side that's higher, one side that's lower. We can flip it around for when the cars reverse lanes, and we are going to we're going to find out. We're going to find out today if the dog fighter, if it took advantage of a loophole, or if it really is the undisputed. We're going to find out today if it's the undisputed champ, fastest in fleet car. Right now there's a little bit of a dispute. We've got to find out, but I'm excited to see what happens, and also because Roughshod is bringing back the SlideKick, and we already know that the SlideKick pushed the BlitzSpeeder to the limit. So we could see a situation where the BlitzSpeeder comes back on an even playing field, if you will, and wins. But then here comes the SlideKick to do its thing and get its revenge. It's going to be an interesting day of racing. I have more cars pulled from the storeroom. So I have this one, this 32 Ford, the Uno edition, but I don't think I want to even bother introducing this because it's an open wheel car, and open wheel cars always have the potential to just get absolutely destroyed on our track. So I'm going to check and see, do I even have... Okay, great. So we already have a 32 Ford in the fleet. It's car number... What was it? Car number 102. I'm just curious because I don't remember what that car looks like, the one that's in the fleet. 102. It is... Oh, yeah, okay, this one. So we already have it in here. And if... yeah, I don't want to... Well, it doesn't matter because we already have one in here. So, whatever. If someone picks it and the axle gets broken up, then it's just how it is. They end up with, like our old boy, Forky here. Forky hit the track and crashed, hit the barrier, and this axle has never been the same since. And keep it here as a reminder. It's a reminder to never pick and put open wheel cars on the track. It's just something we don't do. So, all right, that 32 Ford is going in. We've got this one, the Twin Mill 3, this copper edition. This is part of some special edition. I really like this, but I'm almost 100% certain. I would say 99.8% certain that we already have a Twin Mill 2. Yep, we have a Twin Mill 2, a Twin Mill, and a Twin Mill Gen E. So this one, prize. Let's see. We have a Maserati Shamal. Think maybe we have Maserati. We have a Maserati MC12. And that looks like it. So I guess this little Maserati is going into the fleet. Let's crack. Oh, there's some information on the back. Yeah, that Twin Mill is nice. I like that whole that whole line of cars with that kind of orangish coppery color, and then they had the blue trim. Maybe it's the blue. I love orange cars, but this one has the orange and the blue, so it's got the Hot Wheels track covers. It's got my school colors, the orange and blue, so I think that's probably part of the reason why I picked this up. But since we already have one in the fleet, this one is going to be one that some student has the opportunity to pick up. As for this Maserati Shamal, born in 1990 in Italy, designer Marcello Gandini, the Maserati Shamal freely roams the open road just like the wind it was named after. This extreme grand tour was revolutionary for its time and extremely rare, with only 369 units ever produced. Okay, well, there we go. The Maserati Shamal is now going to be in the fleet. All right, let's see what this car weighs. It feels light. And it's not too bad. 34.5 grams, which is not it's not the lightest car, but it's also very solidly within the range that we want to see these cars at. So let's go ahead and grab this still picture first. The Maserati Shamal. And it is now in the fleet. And we will see next. Let me grab the video. And I think I mentioned that I figured out why this camera was always overheating. And so I basically had to just do a factory refresh and wipe everything out. And when I was going through the process of doing that, I had installed at some point some VPN app on there, and so I think it was overheating because it was constantly trying to engage that. And once I got rid of it, we haven't had any overheating issues so far, but I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on that. All right, car number 924 is the Maserati Shamal. And I don't expect much of it, but it's got the flat back end, which, other than the dogfighter, is still something that I tend to look for in these cars. It's got a tall back end, but that bumper will press right up against the launching block. There's nothing, I don't see anything uniquely special about the aerodynamic profile. I think this car will do well. The weight is good. It seems like it might be a little narrow, not too narrow, but narrow enough that if it doesn't get a proper launch, it'll bounce around the track. But we will see if that's the case. And now we have the Maserati Shamal. We have the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And so we just need to add in a few more cars. Now, some of the cars I pick because I like them. Sometimes I pick them because they're just kind of cool. And I think, hey, this is just a cool car. Sometimes I pick cars that I think the students might gravitate towards because they are unique, weird, strange cars that when they have to pick, especially the younger kids, are they going to pick a car based on what they learned in the class about aerodynamics and drag and lift and science and all of that? Or are they going to pick a car because it represents a character that they are familiar with? Like there's a Frozen car, the Finding Nemo car, there's a bunch of character cars and superhero cars. And then dinosaur cars. There's a few different dinosaur cars. So I decided to pick this one up. The Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Oh, you can't see it because it's green. This is going to be a mystery to you, but there is a car here. The Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Transporter. And it is a dinosaur-themed transport truck. And I will crack it open so you can actually see it. And I will double check to make sure that we don't already have one in the fleet after I check the year on the Shamal, which is 2024. And let's make sure. I think I would remember if there was a Hot Wheels dinosaur racer, but again, there are 900 and some odd cars, so it is entirely possible that I have forgotten. We have a Hot Wheels Braille Racer twin. Oh yeah, that Braille Racer twin mill. So we've got 4 twin mills. The twin mill 2, the twin mill Gen E, and the twin mill, that Braille Racer. We have a Hot Wheels Pursuit, Hot Wheels Warp Speeder, Hot Wheels 40, Hot Wheels 50. And now we're going to have the Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Transporter in the fleet. So let me go ahead and crack this open so we can actually take a look at it. And I'd better check. Make sure it fits in the launcher. It does, even though it's kind of invisible. It's like Wonder Woman in the invisible plane. That kind of thing. Alright, let's switch over to the other view so we can actually see this thing, which will certainly be using the taller acrylic cover. As it comes around here, we'll just take the video first. And the T-Rex Transporter. Now it's interesting, it's got what looks like 3 sets of wheels, but the middle wheel right there doesn't actually touch the ground and is not really a wheel. So unlike the that tank that I don't remember if it was Never Ending or I think it was that tank that you picked that had the 3 sets of wheels that were actually touching the track. That is not the case with this one. This is just, those are just for show. This is the Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Transporter. And this one is up there with longest names of cars, but I think there's a Lamborghini that has all of these cars beat when it comes to having the longest name. With this one, it's blocky. It's aerodynamically speaking, not exactly what I would think of as the one that I want to race. Let me check the weight on this because it's big, but there's a lot of plastic and that can change things. Yeah, so it's only 32.5 grams. So it basically weighs the same as the Maserati Shamal that we just looked at, which is interesting. Back end is flat. It's going to be pressed up right against the launching block. It will be using the taller acrylic cover, but it's got the size, but not the weight. So that may be a factor that may come into play. Let's switch over here, get this picture, and zoom on in. This is the Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Transporter. Dinosaurs always popular, can't go wrong. And I mean, you can go wrong as far as trying to race them and win a race on the track, but as far as popularity with kids, dinosaurs just never seem to go out of favor, out of style. So we have the Ultimate T-Rex Transporter here. We have the Maserati Shamal. We have the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Let's see what else we can get into as I make an adjustment. This chair is old. It's comfortable, which is what tends to happen with old chairs. They get more comfortable. But the lever that holds the chair up doesn't work as well as it used to, and so I just find myself kind of sinking down as we go along, and had to make that adjustment. Anyway, next up, we're gonna go with, this is weird. This is a weird choice. One, because it's a Matchbox, and Matchbox historically, Matchbox cars don't tend to do all that well on the track, but sometimes the cars are so unique that I want to put them in there just so that we have something different. We can't always have Mustangs, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Here's something different. This is the Polaris Ranger EV, and it is this little utility vehicle, and it's got this roll cage on the top, so it's going to have to use the taller acrylic cover. But it's pretty small. I don't know what's going to happen. I would think this thing is going to crash and not make it down the track, but I don't know. That's why we have to race it. So let's crack this open, see what we've got with this one. I'm wondering how much it weighs. I mean, I won't have to wonder for very long. But it's actually metal. All the blue part is metal on a plastic base. So let's see. The weight is, it weighs 30.6 grams, so it will be the lightest car so far. It has, Roughshot's asking about the wheels. Let me switch over to this view. With these wheels, it has the kind of Matchbox thing, so it's got the look of the little off-road wheels and treads there, but the part that's actually going to be on the track is that center part that's flat. I think these little ridges, I think that is why the Matchbox cars there's a specific noise that they make when they're going down the track, and it's kind of like this buzzing sound, and I think that's what it is. Oh, you think this one's the sleeper? That could be it. Maybe. I could see that. I can see that happening. I can also see this thing crashing and just tumbling down the track, and I don't know. It's very interesting. I'm still waiting for the Matchbox car that's really gonna get the job done and be that car. We had one a few weeks ago that I really, I mean, it was a great looking car, but it just didn't happen. It did okay, did pretty well, but the Matchbox cars, I don't know what the difference is, and I need to check because the Hot Wheels Legends Tour is going to finish up out here in El Segundo at the Mattel Hot Wheels headquarters, and I think it's coming up next month, but I want to make sure that I go because the last time I went, they had an opportunity to talk to designers, and I talked to the guy who designed the Donut Drifter car, and we were talking about that. But I have a few other questions, because what's the difference between the Matchbox cars and the Hot Wheels cars? I don't know, but there's some physical difference, because why wouldn't any of the Matchbox car, like, we can almost guarantee that a Matchbox car is going to be beaten out by a Hot Wheels car at some point. So let me get, oh wait, why did I remove I shouldn't have taken this out. The backdrop. It's going to have that contrast. So Roughshod's argument is that this car has the that flat back end, which is going to be good to get it a good, solid, consistent launch, which I agree with. It doesn't have, so one great thing is there's no windshield. So even though it has that roll cage, that really shouldn't have much impact on as far as like drag and slowing this thing down. I'm just curious because it is a little narrow. I just think all the force that it's going to come out with, if the roll cage can hit the top of the acrylic cover, come back down, and this thing can just be sitting on the track and rolling, maybe it has a shot. Maybe it has a shot. Polaris Ranger EV. Yeah, I think this is going to be 1,000% hit or miss. It's either going to be flying down the car or flying down the track, and I'm going to be saying Roughshod was right. This is the sleeper, or it's going to crash. It's going to bounce around and crash, and it will, do that'll be interesting as well. So we've got the Polaris Ranger EV. We have the Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Transporter. We have the Ford Mustang Dark Horse and the Maserati Shamal, all ready to go. Let's introduce a couple more, since I pulled out quite a few from the storage bin. Here's one. The Turbone Charged, which is some kind of skeleton skull vehicle thing. But I feel like we have one of these in the fleet, and it's red. So let's check. TU. We have 2 turbo roosters. That's interesting, because that is one of the turbo roosters is the one that Never Ending picked. We don't have. Oh yeah, there it is. Car number 101, the Turbone Charge. Let me see what these 2 turbo roosters are looking like, because when I was going through the storage, I found yet another turbo rooster, and it was black. So let's see what this one, number 30. Oh, okay, this white one. Okay, so yeah, we do have 2 turbo roosters. There was a time when I was just putting the cars in, and I wasn't thinking about duplicates. But now I don't want to have duplicates in the fleet unless there is some significant difference. It's sitting next to number 31, the '69 Ford Torino Talladega. I really like this car, with the Union 76 gas logos, and they get the Spirit, got the Ford, got the Hot Wheels logos, everything's on there. This is a nice car. Don't think it's very fast. The wheels being tucked under the body, not a fan of that. Doesn't allow the cars to stay. Those cars tend to bounce around the track a lot more. So yeah, the Polaris, is it going to get the job done? I have no idea. All right, let's check this one. We've got a Volkswagen Beetle. It's just got some, what does it say on the top? Love 2021. Okay. I'd be surprised if I don't just have a basic regular Beetle in here. Volkswagen. We have a Volkswagen Golf, an ID Buzz, a Caffer Racer, a T2 pickup, another T2 pickup, a Volkswagen Golf Mark II, a Volkswagen SP2, and that's it. So I guess we're finally going to just enter in the Beetle. And this is the Beetle that's going to be the Beetle representative. It is the Love 2021 edition of the Volkswagen Beetle. So let's crack this open and see what we've got. All right, check the weight. The weight on this one is 30.5 grams, so it's exactly the same as the Polaris. And we are going to check it out here. I believe this was an edition that was made for like Valentine's Day. I know they do Halloween cars. I saw some in the store just the other day, but they were the same cars that I already had. They just had Halloween paint jobs and themes, so that didn't make them worth picking up. But I know for Easter and spring they do cars. I didn't really know that Christmas, another one. But I didn't know that Valentine's Day was a thing they had special releases for. But apparently, at least in 2021, they did. And now we have the Volkswagen Beetle. Back end, typical Beetle situation, and it's got, you know, it'll press up that curved back bumper. It's going to press up against the launching block. I think this is another candidate to crash on the track with that low point of contact. And, you know, yeah, the paint job is cool. I like the little details they added. It's got the hearts, but they're kind of stylized. Yeah, it's a good looking little car, and I like the brown with sort of the with that rusted kind of red on there. Good looking car. What will it do on the track? We will find out. But let's get this still picture here and zoom on in. We have the Volkswagen Beetle Classic. Just classic car. It's not even this doesn't even appear to be, it's not even the, I would say the modern version, but that was at this point quite a while ago. The new newer Beetle that they put out. And this is clearly old school Beetle. And it is now in the fleet, representing with the other Volkswagen cars. So we have the Volkswagen Beetle, we have the Polaris Ranger EV, the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, we have the Maserati Shamal, and we have the T-Rex transport car. Let's see. We're gonna drop in. One more. Oh yeah, no problem. Have fun at the football game, and we will. You'll be able to check the video and see if your dog fighter and your turbo rooster end up on top. So we'll see you soon. Okay, I've got two options. One is this one. Well, first let me check the year. Even though it says 2021, it's 1988 is the year listed as the manufacturing year. So I'll drop that in. 1988. All right. Then this one, the Raijin Express, and I know I have another of these, but it's gold. And I think I like the gold one better, but I guess I should double check to see if it's in here. So let's see, Raijin, is it in here? There is not. We do not have one in here. So, the silver one is kind of cool. I think I have a red one, but this is the one I pulled out, so I guess this is the one that's going in. If I come across the red one, we may have a showdown to see which one gets to stay. What's it say on the back? Raijin Express, born in 2021 in El Segundo, California. Designer Hot Wheels. In Japanese mythology, Raijin is the god of thunder, lightning, and storms. Decatora are Japanese trucks that are chromed out, lit up, and extravagantly decorated. The Raijin Express brings them together in a head-turning explosion of details that rolls by with the energy of a storm. Huh, okay. Chromed out and extravagantly decorated. I think that qualifies with this. So let's go ahead and crack it open. And this, well, let me check. Make sure it'll fit on the track or in the launcher. It does. It just fits. All right, so that's good. Now let's check the weight of this thing. And it really, this whole, even though it's as big as it is, it just feels kind of hollow, which I'm sure it is. But it weighs in at 42.3 grams. So this is a big boy right here. Let's go ahead, take a look at it. That's a good looking vehicle. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, nothing, and the rock means nothing about this that suggests it's going to perform well on the track. This is just like that front. The front is wild. Like, look at this. I mean, that's just going to trap the air in like you wouldn't believe. Like, there's no way that this thing is going to be fast on the track, but it is. That's a good, I like the look of it. That purple windshield. Now this could get me into, if you could get me an RV like that, then I might have to consider it. All right, let's get this still picture. This is the last of the new cars that will be introduced into the fleet. Then we're going to take a look at the viewer picks. And then we are going to hit the track and we are going to find out what is going on with the... Oh, wrong way. We're going to find out if the dogfighter, can the dogfighter be the undisputed champion or not? It's going to be an interesting matchup. But let me go ahead and get this Raijin Express entered into the fleet. This is car number 928. And Raijin Express. And I didn't check the Polaris. I didn't check the year on that. And it's got, yes, it's got a flat back end, but it's just so heavy and so big, and that front end is so unaerodynamic. I think if this goes up against that T-Rex Transporter, which it will, the T-Rex Transporter is going to destroy this thing. I don't think there's any doubt. Well, but no, it's lighter, it's a little more streamlined, but that front end, that thing is just designed to have all the air hit it, and just, yeah, there's no way. No way. But we have to race the cars because you really, even though I think I know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I know, but until we actually conduct the experiment, we're just guessing. So, we have our lineup of cars introduced into the fleet. We have the Raijin Express, the Polaris Ranger EV. We've got the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, the Maserati Shamal, and the Hot Wheels T-Rex Transporter. Got all those in. Now it's time to take a look at the cars that have been selected by viewers. And I need to go and pull Rough Shot's pick. I don't remember if I didn't see if Beyblader, if Beyblader dropped a pick. Oh, yep, number 41. Okay. So let's see what number 41 is. And then I will go and pull those cars. Let's see, 41, 41, 41. What is it? What is it? 41. Okay, 41, the 89 Porsche 944 Turbo. Okay. Porsche Turbo. Nice. All right. So we've got, I'm going to go and grab that car and the SlideKick, and the other cars I have set up here. So I am going to pull those. I'll drop in the little bathroom break music. It's not going to take me 5 minutes, but I will grab those cars and be right back. All right, we are going to take a look at these cars that are going to be racing, and these are the viewer picks. So let's start with we'll start with the SlideKick, which weighs in at 33.9 grams, and we are familiar with the SlideKick. It has, it's competed a few times, and it is one of the few cars that has, that gave the BlitzSpeeder a run. And the SlideKick, the Whipped Creamer 2, and there was like one other car. And what you notice about this one in particular is that there's nothing on the top to interrupt the airflow. The little driver's canopy is over here on this side, but even that just almost looks like a fender of a sort. And this car is fast, and there's no doubt about it. So I have a feeling that if I'm right about the acrylic covers making a difference, I think that the BlitzSpeeder will be able to beat the Dogfighter. But I think that the SlideKick is always right there, ready to take that win. And today might be the day. The back end, it's got these 2 points that press up against the launching block, but they're higher up. And so I think that's better. When we talked about the Beetle, its point of contact was very low. And I think that is more likely to have a car shoot up into the air than if it has a point of contact that's a little higher. It's just a theory. I'd have to shoot slow motion video to really be sure and run a lot of cars, but this is what we've got. So we've got the SlideKick. Let's take a look at Beyblader's pick, which is this one. It is the, hang on, I'm just getting the weight. It's Porsche, and it's coming in at 33.4 grams. Now, what's interesting about this is the 89 Porsche 944 Turbo, is it's got a little stethoscope in the back for some reason. I mean, I guess they're saying it's a doctor's car or something, but it's got a big stethoscope in the back. The only other car that I know of that has something like this was that Pontiac Aztec Custom that had the Walter White from Breaking Bad. It had the fedora and the glasses in the back. But we've got this Porsche here, and you know, pretty standard. This car I would put in the category with the Maserati, in that I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it should have any problems necessarily, but I just think it'll give a good performance, but I don't think it's going to be in the category and in the class with some of the other cars that are going to be racing today. So we've got that one. We've got this Porsche, good looking car there. I believe it was Caitlin picked on Wednesday. She picked this Alpha Buzz, this 33.3 gram. It is the Space Ranger Alpha Buzz car right here, and this is from the Toy Story or Buzz Lightyear movie. They had a series of cars they put out, and I think there are at least 2 of them that I have in the fleet. And this one's cool. It's got the Buzz Lightyear theme, but it also looks like a sort of traditional hypercar. This could be a Koenigsegg or you know, just one of those exotically styled cars. It has raced before. I don't remember how it did. The back end, it's going to have 2 or 3 points of contact. Probably these 2 points there on these little exhausts here, and then possibly from this tail fin right there. So we'll see how this one performs. It looks like it should do well. If it doesn't, I don't know why, but we had it in the wind tunnel. Looked good. Didn't look like there was going to be too much in the way of drag slowing this car down. We have, I believe it was our Never Ending. He also picked. So he picked the Dogfighter last week, and then for this week, even though the Dogfighter is the champ, he picked another car. It's this one, the Turbo Rooster, coming in at 32.4 grams. This one was very interesting in the wind tunnel. When we put it in, the wind actually, the air hit the front, came up to the top, and really did just funnel through this kind of open, this winged, between these wings, right to the back, and then around. Some of the air was flowing over the top of this tail, but it's just a very unique car. And much like the Dogfighter, it's only going to have this 1 point of contact, this point on the tail right here. That's the only part that's going to be touching the launching block. So we'll have to see if it has the same level of success that the Dogfighter had. We will see. We will see. All right, so we got the Turbo Rooster. We've got the Alpha Buzz Lightyear car. And then the last one, I think he went with the Cadillac. Christopher, on Wednesday, he picked this Cadillac GTP Hypercar, which weighs in at 37 grams. And when I picked this car up, I mean, I still love it. I love the style and shape, and it's based on an actual race car that Cadillac has made. And I've seen other versions in the store. There's a blue one. There's a yellow one. Um, this car, when I picked it, I was certain it was gonna do very well on the track. The back end, for the most part, is flat. It's got that low profile. It's got, similar to the Alpha Buzz Lightyear car. It has just that look to it of a supercar. It's got openings. It looks like the air should be able to flow right over, under, and around this thing with ease. But when we raced it before, I don't remember how it did specifically, but I know that it didn't do well. And that was a bit of a disappointment. But hey, it's got a new chance and a new opportunity. So we are going to see how this car does. It's got a very Batmobile look to it, which I like, of course, with all the Batmobiles in the fleet. All right, so we've got our big lineup set up. We have our new acrylic cover all set up. We are ready to go. Just a quick little bit of instruction in case this is the first time you stumbled across this channel and you're like, what is this? And you skip to the drag racing section and you're like, what am I looking at? Here's what you will be looking at. Our 3-camera racetrack view. The cars will start off at the top of the camera on the left. I will give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. The cars will come firing out of the launcher. They'll go from top to bottom, pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, show up at the top of the screen in the middle. The cars will come flying from top to bottom. They will pass through the bottom of the screen in the middle, show up at the top of the screen on the far right. That is our finish line camera. The cars will come from top to bottom, crossing the finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car. A flashing red light will indicate the losing car. So, we have races that are best 2 out of 3. The car that wins 2 races will move on. And after each race, the cars switch lanes. And if a car happens to crash and leaves the track, no problem. We simply throw out the results of that race, restart, reset, and race again. If the same car crashes twice consecutively, leaving the track, then that car is disqualified. Because if a car crashes twice consecutively in exactly the same way, then there's usually some problem specific to the car and the launcher combination that isn't going to be solved by just rerunning the race. So, car crashes, leaves the track twice, it's disqualified. If a car crashes, lands upside down or sideways or backwards, but stays on the track, then that counts. That's just a loss. So if your car is going to crash, you want it to crash and leave the track. You don't want it crashing and sticking around on its hood or on its roof, still on the track. And that is pretty much that. So I am going to grab up these cars. I'm going to grab up the new acrylic covers, which I'm excited to try out with that Raijin Express and that transporter. We're definitely going to have to use them. So I'm going to grab all this, head out to the track, and I will see you over there in 30 seconds. All right, there's a lot of stuff to be carrying out here. Let me just double check double check the audio. And 1, 2, good, got that going. Now I know from when I was running some tests earlier that in some of the camera views, it looks like the legs of the tripods are gonna obstruct the are like sticking out on the track. They're actually not. It's just the angle, because I end up using iPhones to record the track views, and because the camera on the iPhone isn't in the center of the camera, then I have to kind of angle the tripods off to the side just a little bit, and so blah blah blah. That is why it may look like the tripods are sticking out on the track, but they are not. And as I double check again, now I need to see if this Raijin Express, so the Raijin Express is actually, it's even too tall for the taller acrylic cover, but no worries, because I had extra pieces of acrylic printed or cut, and so I'm actually able to raise it up even higher. Same thing with that Polaris. It's too tall for even the elevated cover, so what I'm gonna do is raise it up another 1/4 of an inch, and that will take care of these two giants. Should, yeah, that one fits, that one fits. All right, so we are good to go. We can accommodate these taller cars. It is going to be the Raijin Express in lane 2 against the let's go Polaris. So we're going heaviest and lightest. We're gonna go with the extremes on this one. The Polaris, is it gonna be a sleeper car? Is it gonna represent for Matchbox, or is it going to tumble around and crash and ultimately kind of be a disappointment? I don't know. We're gonna find out. We have the Raijin Express in lane 2, the Polaris Ranger EV in lane 1. This is race number 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo-hoo. That Raijin Express had some speed to it, but did it have speed to it, or was it just because it was racing a much slower car? And it looks like it didn't clip the tripod here, but it could have. So let me make an adjustment here. Move this tripod leg out and make sure that the Raijin Express is not at any kind of disadvantage. Get the camera angle lined up again. Looks like I may have moved this in a weird way. Check it out. I think that's okay. Make sure that the Raijin Express has enough clearance there. All right, good to go. Let me grab the Polaris and see if it makes a difference. It is the lightest car in the fleet, and we know that light cars, usually it's drag that gets them in the end, but that may not be the case with the Polaris. It may just not be as fast as the Raijin Express. So let's go ahead and set these two tall cars up. I am glad that the oh wait, now I adjusted the camera down too much and you can't see the start line. Let me spin this around. I've got a little monitor situation out here so I can actually see what I'm doing which is kind of helpful when you can see what it is you're doing. All right, there we go. And line this up a bit. Right there. All right, now we're ready to go. Raijin Express and the Polaris. I'm trying to find one of these Matchbox cars that can just get the job done, but they can't. They're just not. They're not on the same level with the Hot Wheels cars in terms of performance on the track. There is a difference. All right, we're switching the Raijin Express over to lane number 1. The Polaris is in lane number 2. Lane 2. All right, and here we go. Polaris lane 2, Raijin Express lane 1. Race number 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Raijin Express didn't win by as big a margin, but it still won, and therefore it is going to be moving on. Just since we've already got the taller cover out, we're going to just go ahead and bring out that T-Rex transporter and have that take on the Raijin Express, so then I don't have to swap out the covers just yet. So let's go got these two. And let's see, T-Rex Ultimate Transport against the Raijin Express. We'll put the T-Rex Transporter in lane 2, and the Raijin Express will go into lane number 1. And we are ready to go. All right, T-Rex Transporter lane 2 and Raijin Express lane 1, race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. So the T-Rex Transporter crashed, and when it crashed, it crossed over and took out the Raijin Express. So let's grab those cars, reset them. Now this is kind of interesting because I think that the T-Rex Destroyer, it does not need, so I had to put the little pieces of acrylic under to raise up the cover 1/4 of an inch to accommodate the Raijin Express and the Polaris. Well, the T-Rex Destroyer doesn't need that much height. It could have just gone with the standard higher acrylic cover and been fine. Problem is, the Raijin Express still needs that extra bit of room. So now we have the same problem that we had with the smaller cars and the taller cars, in that the Raijin Express is now kind of at an advantage over the T-Rex Destroyer because the T-Rex Destroyer has an extra 1/4 inch of space above it that the Raijin Express doesn't have. And so I think that is what accounted for that crash. Hopefully the T-Rex Destroyer can make it out of the gates and stay on the track, and we can have a race. So here is the reset of race number 1. We have the T-Rex Destroyer. Why did I say that? It's not the T-Rex Destroyer. This is the T-Rex Transport in lane 2, and the Raijin Express in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. All right, they stayed on the track, and the T-Rex Destroyer took that. And in this instance, I'm actually hoping, that the T-Rex Destroyer wins, because if the Raijin Express wins, we're going to have a problem, because we would have to use even the new acrylic cover I built wouldn't account for this height difference. So this is a really tall car. So usually I don't care which cars win, but in this case I do want the T-Rex transporter to take this race, just so that we don't have to deal with cars having a disadvantage and an advantage with the acrylic cover. So here's race 2. Cars have switched lanes. We have the T-Rex Transport in lane 1 and the Raijin Express in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. All right, so the T-Rex Transporter crashed again, but we know it can make it down the track, and so those usual rules of, if the car crashes, it's disqualified, aren't really about to apply here, because we know that the car that it's at a disadvantage because of that extra 1/4 of an inch that it has to travel when it raises up in the air. So I just want to get it down the track and get this race out of the way so that we can hopefully have a race using an unmodified acrylic cover. So all right, here we go. Race 2, restart. We've got the T-Rex Transport in lane 1 and the Raijin Express in lane 2. Here we go. Race 2. 3, 2, 1, race. And the T-Rex Transport took that race, and therefore it is going to be moving on. And it also guarantees that we will be using the elevated or the modified acrylic cover. And since we are using the cars and going with the cars that need that, we might as well stick with the theme and go with Never Ending's Turbo Rooster, because it has a tall tail in the back that requires using the elevated acrylic cover, but we don't have to make any modifications. It's not the super lifted cover that I had to use for the Polaris and the Raijin Express. So now this race should be pretty standard. We've got the T-Rex Destroyer staying in lane T-Rex. I don't know why I keep calling it that. The T-Rex Transport in lane 1, and we've got the Turbo Rooster in lane 2. Turbo Rooster is interesting because the tail fin on that is actually taller than the launching block, so it's getting pushed at a weird point, like midway down the tail. So we'll see how that plays out. Turbo Rooster lane 2, T-Rex Transport lane 1, race 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. T-Rex Transporter got smoked. Now, I don't know if there was some issue with the launch or what, but, or maybe it's just not that fast. And it was racing the Raijin Express, which was a pretty big truck. I don't know, but it stayed on the track. It didn't perform well, but it's got another opportunity. All it has to do is take 2 races in a row, and it will be moving on. Otherwise, Never Ending will be getting closer to having 2 of his picks face off in the finals. So we are moving the T-Rex Transport to lane number 2, the Turbo Rooster is in lane 1. Cars are ready to go. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the T-Rex Transport got a much better launch and had a much better race that time, but it was not enough because the Turbo Rooster is the car that took that race. So the Turbo Rooster is moving on. We are going to switch out the acrylic cover for the standard version, and we are going to go with let's go with the Buzz Lightyear car versus Cadillac. So Caitlin's Buzz Lightyear Alpha Buzz car versus Christopher's pick of the Cadillac GTP Hypercar. And we will set up the Buzz Lightyear car in lane 1, locked in, and the Cadillac will be in lane number 2. The Cadillac hoping for a different performance this time around. All right, Cadillac lane 2, Alpha Buzz in lane 1, race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Cadillac smashes into the barrier and crashes. We will throw out the results of that race, line them up again, and hope that the Cadillac can get an actual solid launch this time. Not sure exactly what happened. And the Cadillac is a wide car, so it's unusual that a wide car would slam into the barrier because there isn't a lot of room for it to move side to side. So usually those cars stay on the track and do pretty well. Not sure. And I know this car's raced before and it didn't crash, so we know that it can stay on the track. There's no real issue there. But sometimes cars get a bad launch and you never know what the result is necessarily going to be. Let's get this one lined up again. All right. We have the Alpha Buzz car in lane 1, and we have the Cadillac Hypercar in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And this time it was the Alpha Buzz car that crashed a little ways down the track. And so now each car has taken a turn crashing. How about they take a turn staying on the track? That would be interesting, different, unique. So let's get them lined up again now that each car has had a opportunity to take a run down the track. Get them lined up and see what's really going on. All right. Cadillac, once again, lined up in lane 2. Alpha Buzz lined up in lane 1. Trying to line it up. It won't stay against the launching block. There we go. Race number 1, restart. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo. That was a good race. The Cadillac started off in the lead, and as the cars got to about the last third, you could see that the Alpha Buzz car was closing the gap. And what that means is that that Cadillac was slowing down. And as that Cadillac slowed down, the Alpha Buzz slowed down at a slower rate and ended up catching it and passing it. So that was a good, solid race. We're going to switch lanes and see if we can get another one out of these two cars. It's very interesting. I'm starting to see that you really can tell what's happening in the race at the back end. The back end is where you learn a lot. When you see those shifts where one car starts to gain ground, you know that something's happening with the other car. So it's the back end of the track is really where the information is. But we've switched lanes. We've got the Cadillac in lane 1. We've got the Buzz Lightyear car in lane 2. Race number 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Same scenario. The cars were pretty much even, and then the Buzz Lightyear car was able to maintain its lead, kind of opened it up a little bit towards the back end. It's not the Cadillac, the drop off in speed isn't as huge as some of the cars we've seen in the past, but it is noticeable, definitely noticeable. All right, we are now moving the Buzz Lightyear Alpha Buzz car up, and let's go ahead and we're going to go with the Ford Dark Horse against the SlideKick. The SlideKick has been one of those cars that is been right on the edge of taking the title, but the BlitzSpeeder just sort of constantly got in its way. We're going to see if the SlideKick still has what it takes to be in that upper tier of cars, or will this Ford Dark Horse be a dark horse and take it out? We are going to see as soon as I can get these cars lined up. This Dark Horse, one of the nicer cars that we've looked at in a while. A lot of detail added in by the designers, and this car does not want to stay put against the launching block. Yeah. But that is important. It's got to be pressed up right against that launching block, or else bad things can happen. All right, we've got the Ford Dark Horse in lane 1. We've got the SlideKick in lane 2. This is Roughshode's pick. We're going to see if he is going to be, this is going to be the first step on the way to the championship round. So here we go. SlideKick lane 2, Ford Dark Horse Mustang lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, the SlideKick's a monster. It is ready. It left no doubt at all that it is ready for the serious competition. Not for these preliminary rounds. That was brutal right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and presume that the Mustang did not get a bad launch, but we're going to see now, because the Mustang has to take 2 races in a row if it's going to be our fastest car and force a third and final race. But right now we're on race number 2. We've got the SlideKick in lane 1. We've got the Mustang in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Here comes the SlideKick. SlideKick was dominant. If this was wrestling, we would have said that was a squash match, where you just have one competitor that is totally overmatched and outmatched by his opponent, and that was the case with the Ford Dark Horse and the SlideKick. The SlideKick is definitely one of the top tier Hot Wheels cars we have. All right, next up we're going to go with Beyblader's Porsche 944, the 89 Porsche 944 Turbo against the Maserati Shamal, and we'll see which of these cars is going to be moving on. We still have the Dogfighter and the BlitzSpeeder waiting to settle their difference, but we have to finish up this tournament and see which car comes out on top. We've got the Maserati Shamal in lane 1. we have the Porsche 944 in lane 2, race 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. You can see it there. The Porsche was in the lead. About midway through, it started to slow down, and the Maserati caught it, passed it, and won the race, as you can see from the solid red light. And we will see if the Porsche can keep its speed up in the second race. These cars, again, they slow down, and if they are about the same weight, then what you're going to see, or what seems to be the case, is that it's drag that is going to make the biggest difference. We're going to switch lanes, put the Shamal in lane 2, and put the Porsche in lane 1. And now we are ready to go with race number 2. Porsche in lane 1, Maserati Shamal in lane 2. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Maserati crashed, so we will be restarting that race. And now I did switch out the elastic band in the launcher this morning, so that may be accounting for why we've had more crashes than usual, because the cars are coming out with a lot more force, and a lot more force from the launcher means more speed, and therefore more exciting races, more spectacular crashes. And we are going to line these cars up again. We're going to put the Porsche in lane 1, the Maserati's in lane 2, race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Maserati took that and took it with some speed as it comes back near the start line. The Porsche just was not up to the task. I don't remember what it weighed, but it just feels light, and it feels light and just oddly light, similar to the kind of knockoff die-cast cars that you see, the knockoff Hot Wheels cars. They just feel really light. That's how that Porsche felt. And so if you have a light car, it's going to show up at the back end of the track. All right, let's go with we'll go with the Turbo Rooster against the Beetle. And this will be the first opportunity we have to try out our new modified acrylic cover, which has one side that's taller and one side that is lower, and that's to accommodate races just like the one we're about to have, where we have a taller car against a smaller car. So let's go ahead, get this set up, and we're going to take the Beetle, which is the standard Hot Wheels car, standard size. We're going to put that in lane number 2. Then we're going to take the Turbo Rooster, which is a taller car, and put that in lane number 1. So this is going to be the first chance we see of this new acrylic cover. So it's got the taller side right now covering lane 1 where the Turbo Rooster's lined up, and the standard size, it's a 1/4 inch lower, on covering lane 2. So here we go. We're going to see how this works out. Turbo Rooster lane 1, Volkswagen Beetle lane 2, race 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Turbo Rooster took that one with ease, and so far it is looking like The Turbo Rooster and the SlideKick are the two fastest cars, whoa, that we have seen. So we are going to now switch lanes and reverse the cover. The cover seemed to work. And so I just flip it around. And now we have the Turbo Rooster. We'll be in lane number 2. And the Volkswagen Beetle will be in lane number 1. Here we go, race number 2. Three, two, one, race. I mean, the Turbo Rooster destroyed the Beetle, but what we also saw was that the modified acrylic cover worked, and it has been prepared, and it is ready, and we have tested it out essentially in that race. So it's kind of like the in Star Wars when they tested out the power of the Death Star by destroying Alderaan. We have tested out the new acrylic cover, and it's ready to go for those big time races and the big time rematch we have coming up in just a little while. So now we are down to the Alpha Buzz Lightyear car, the SlideKick, the Maserati Shamal, and the Turbo Rooster. So we're going to go Alpha Buzz and SlideKick right now and see which of these cars is going to be moving on to the final. The SlideKick, I mean, absolutely punished its first opponent. And now we're going to see what it can do against this Alpha Buzz car. Alpha Buzz is in lane 2, SlideKick's in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Close race, but the SlideKick took it, and I'm not going to say it took it with ease, but it wasn't as difficult as we may have thought. But that's the what you get when you get some of these cars that are just in that upper tier, upper level. It's hard to keep up with them. We'll see if the Alpha Buzz can make up. Whoa, my cord got hung up on something. Hold up. There we go. We'll see if the Alpha Buzz can take 2 races from the SlideKick, but that seems like a tall order. But hey, this is why we race the cars, because you never know what could happen. But the SlideKick is looking pretty good right now. Alpha Buzz is going to be in lane 1. SlideKick is in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Alpha Buzz hung in there pretty close, but just didn't have enough to get by the SlideKick. So the SlideKick is advancing to the finals, and it will see in just a moment which car it is going to take on, because we are going to have the Turbo Rooster against the Shamal, which means it is the return of the specialized acrylic cover. And we will go and get this placed on the track. And the Turbo Rooster will be in lane 1. And the Shamal Turbo Rooster to stay put, and the Shamal will be in lane 2. Now, one thing I just noticed is that the Turbo Rooster is an open wheel car, so we do have to be, you know, concerned about that. So maybe those extra Turbo Roosters that I have, I need to keep those around just in case there's a mishap. But Turbo Rooster's in lane 1. The Maserati Shamal is in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And Turbo Rooster took it. Let's see here. All right. Now we are going to switch lanes, flip the cover, and see how this plays out with the Turbo Rooster and the Shamal. Shamal is now in lane 1, and it's going to be a tough task trying to take out the Turbo Rooster. Turbo Rooster is just one of those cars that's fast, and if it wins this race, it is going to be taking on the SlideKick, which is also one of our fastest cars. So here we go. We have the Maserati Shamal in lane 1. We have the Turbo Rooster in lane 2. This is race number 2. Let's go. Three, two, one, race. No contest. We had the Turbo Rooster absolutely blow the doors off the Shamal, and therefore our finals matchup is going to be Turbo Rooster versus SlideKick. And I just need to check one thing really quickly with the I've got a little monitor here on the side to keep track of the video feed, and I just need to make a quick adjustment. Okay, there we go. Let's see. All right, we are now down to the finals, and I'm seeing some comments. Can I launch? Can I zoom in on the launching block? No, I can't. The views for the camera are pretty much fixed, so I can't adjust them. It's basically like they're kind of set. So I could zoom in, but if I zoom in, I wouldn't be able to zoom out so that you could see what happens in the first part of the track and the race. So we are now looking at a race between the SlideKick and the Turbo Rooster using this new acrylic cover, which is going to be in play for the rest of the races, because we have the BlitzSpeeder Dogfighter, and then whichever car comes out of that, we will see. But we'll need this new cover, and I like the way that it's worked out so far. And we are going to have the Turbo Rooster in lane 2. It's been performing very well today. And then the SlideKick, which has been extremely dominant, that car is going to be in lane 1. So let me get these pressed up. All right, here we go. Turbo Rooster lane 2, SlideKick lane 1. This is the finals, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. That race, I mean, was right down to the wire, and I could only tell which car won based on the solid red light at the end. It looked like, from my perspective, that the Turbo Rooster had it, but obviously that is not the case. And the SlideKick pulled it out right at the end. So we now are going to switch lanes and see if the Turbo Rooster can force a third and final race, which we haven't had yet today, or if the SlideKick is going right back to where we presumed it would be, taking this tournament and facing off against the champ. So we have Never Endings Turbo Rooster. We have Roughshod SlideKick. SlideKick is in lane 2, and the Turbo Rooster is in lane 1. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. SlideKick takes it. Another good, close race, but the SlideKick takes it, which means we are now going to have the SlideKick in the finals representing the cars from today and representing the viewer picks. This is Roughshod's pick. But now, with the new acrylic cover, we are going to first have this matchup, this rematch. The Dogfighter versus the BlitzSpeeder. And now with this new acrylic cover, if the Dogfighter wins, it will be undisputed that it is our fastest in-fleet car. Then it will take on the SlideKick, and we'll see what happens then. But this cover is going to guarantee, absolutely, that there is no advantage gained by either car. The taller car will have an acrylic cover. The standard car will have an acrylic cover. Both of these cars will be racing on an even plane. No advantage for either car. This is the point and purpose. We are going to find out right now if the Dogfighter can repeat that performance of last week, where it absolutely dominated the BlitzSpeeder. But was it due to the track conditions and the launcher, or was it due to the fact that it's just faster? We're going to find out right now. We've got the BlitzSpeeder back in lane 2. We've got the Dogfighter in lane number 1. And they are ready to go. Here we go. Race number 1, Dogfighter lane 1, BlitzSpeeder lane 2. Rematch. Race 1. Three, two, one, race. Wow. There's no question there. There's no question there. The Dogfighter won again by the same huge margin. So now we're going to flip the cover around, and if the Dogfighter can do what it just did and what it did before, then it is going to be absolutely guaranteed and official that it is the fastest car on the planet. And we are going to put the BlitzSpeeder in lane number 1. I constructed a whole new acrylic cover just to try and give the BlitzSpeeder, the benefit of the doubt. But the Dogfighter is like, nah, there's going to be doubt, and I'm going to leave no doubt which car is fastest. So we've got the Dogfighter now in lane 2, BlitzSpeeder in lane 1, race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. BlitzSpeeder pulled it out. We are going to a race number 3. The BlitzSpeeder was not ready to give it all the way up just yet. We are going to see what is the outcome. I don't know. This Dogfighter is a fighter. I mean, This is wild. We have not seen the BlitzSpeeder beaten and dominated in the way that the Dogfighter has. We've not seen that before. But whichever car takes this race is going to be our new fastest in fleet champion, or it's going to be the same fastest in fleet champion. We're going to find out, and then the SlideKick is waiting to challenge whichever car comes out on top. Here we go. We have the BlitzSpeeder in lane 2. We have the Dogfighter in lane 1. This is race number 3. Whichever car takes it is our fastest in fleet champ. Here we go. Race number 3. Three, two, one, race. Dogfighter out of control, destroys the BlitzSpeeder, sends the BlitzSpeeder back to the ranks of the regular fleet, and the Dogfighter remains our fastest in fleet champion, the ultimate sleeper car, and now it is going to take on the SlideKick. Can Roughshods plan to bring in one of the fastest cars that we've seen on the track to challenge the new champ? Can that work? Can that work? Maybe, maybe not. But we've seen the SlideKick be very fast today, very fast on the track. Question is it fast enough? Is it fast enough to take on the Dogfighter, which is, I still can't, I'm at a loss to even explain how that car is as fast as it is, but it is. All right, we've got the SlideKick in lane 2. We've got the Dogfighter in lane 1. Race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Uh-oh. Roughshods' plan is one race away from perfection. The SlideKick absolutely blew the doors, the propellers, the tail off of the Dogfighter. So now we have the SlideKick ready to slide on in to the number 1 spot and take the title. So it's not over. It's not over, but that was an impressive performance. We're flipping the cover around. The cover is working out beautifully. And no car is getting an unfair advantage. We're just getting races between of just raw speed. These Hot Wheels cars. We have the SlideKick now sliding into lane number 1. We have the Dogfighter in lane 2. And we are now about to find out, are we about to have a new fastest in fleet car for the 2nd week in a row? If the SlideKick takes it, the answer is yes. If not, we're going to a 3rd and final race. Here we go. SlideKick, lane 1, Dogfighter, lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. That's it. And new fastest in fleet champion, the SlideKick. The SlideKick absolutely hammered the Dogfighter and took that race. The Dogfighter, a fast car, very unique, but it got taken out. It was a short reign. It dethroned the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder had an incredible run, but we're gonna pack these cars up, take them back in the garage, and look at our newest, fastest in fleet car, and see what's coming up next. So I'll be back in the garage in just a minute. And there it is. We have a new fastest in fleet car. It is the SlideKick. And if you happen to watch wrestling, or if you don't, there was a wrestler named Cody Rhodes who got his shot at the championship at WrestleMania, the biggest stage, and he lost. And he had to wait a whole year, came back, went after the title again, and won. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about with the SlideKick, because the SlideKick has raced multiple times before and just didn't get the job done. Came in today facing the Dogfighter, which is the most unique car that we have had on the track, and it took it out. The Dogfighter beat out the BlitzSpeeder, which I was thinking just wasn't going to happen, that we didn't have a car that could do that. And it turns out Roughshod came back with the SlideKick, didn't let the fact that it had been beaten before discourage him. He came back in, picked that car, and turns out that it is our new fastest in fleet title. The new acrylic cover leveled the playing field. So if we have a taller car and a shorter car, then no car has an advantage. We thought perhaps the BlitzSpeeder was getting an advantage, and turns out no, it was not getting an advantage. The Dogfighter just beat it. Somehow, someway, the Dogfighter just beat it. SlideKick came in, destroyed the Dogfighter twice, and that was it. So now I see that Roughshod is looking at the BlitzSpeeder for next week. As a matter of fact, you know what? Why wait until next week? Let's go ahead and do it right now. The BlitzSpeeder, it had its day. We gave it its flowers, all that. But we might as well just get this right on out of the way. And I'm gonna grab the SlideKick. I'm gonna grab the BlitzSpeeder, and we're gonna jump out to the track for a little bonus race right now. So let me just go right back over there. Okay, we're gonna get this settled, and we came into today with this special acrylic cover, and the whole point was to find out if the Dogfighter was gonna be the undisputed champion, yes or no. And the answer ended up being no, because it won, yes, but then it was only that undisputed champion for a very short amount of time. And then the SlideKick came in and took over. So now this would be crazy, but if the BlitzSpeeder took this, because we would end up back where we started 2 weeks ago. But the BlitzSpeeder's in lane 2, the SlideKick is in lane 1. This is race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. What is going on? The BlitzSpeeder takes that, as it has in the past when it's raced the SlideKick. The BlitzSpeeder took race 1, and now we are going to switch lanes and do this again. If the BlitzSpeeder ends up on top, this is going to be like some kind of pro wrestling storyline, because it was on the outside, it lost, and then somehow worked its way back into the title match and the title picture, and is going to end up leaving with the title possibly. That's going to be crazy. All right, but it's got a ways to go, because the SlideKick has something to say about this. SlideKick is in lane 2. BlitzSpeeder is in lane 1. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And Roughshod said he had to know. I agreed with him. We did need to know. We put the cars on the track, and this may be the shortest title reign of all time, because the BlitzSpeeder took both of those races and is the new and returning champion, the newest, fastest in fleet car. Let me grab these cars, head back into the garage, and try to figure out what it was that we just saw today. This is absolutely the most unbelievable day of Hot Wheels racing that we have ever had here at the track. We started off. Let's just go back a week ago when Never Ending picked the Dogfighter. The Dogfighter had been a good performing car. There's an Instagram post I have from about a year or so ago that's talking about the Dogfighter is a sleeper car. The Dogfighter, he picked it. It came in, it broke all the rules for what the aerodynamic profile and the kinds of cars that do well on the track. Broke all those rules. And then at the end of the day, it was challenging the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder had been dominant for, 4 months last year. And then it lost. Then it came back. And then it destroyed all of the other cars that it's faced since the spring, since like March. So from March until a week ago, the BlitzSpeeder was absolutely destroying cars, except there were 2 cars. There was the Whipped Creamer 2, and there was the SlideKick that gave the BlitzSpeeder close races, but the BlitzSpeeder came out on top. The Dogfighter came in, broke all the rules, beat the BlitzSpeeder, and it was shocking. Like, if you've just been watching the BlitzSpeeder race week in, week out, that result was shocking. It was crazy that would be the outcome. So the Dogfighter wins. But then there's the question of the acrylic covers. It had there was a 1/4 inch difference, and that does make a difference for some of the shorter cars. Okay, I go to the place, get the acrylic, build the new cover. It has one side higher, one side lower. No car has an advantage. Take it out to the track, conduct the race. Dogfighter still beats the BlitzSpeeder. Twice, just beats it. No question. Or actually, no. Because the BlitzSpeeder took 1 race. We went to a 3rd race. So the BlitzSpeeder took 1, Dogfighter took 1, and then the Dogfighter took the 3rd one. Dogfighter, undisputed champion. But then here comes the SlideKick. The SlideKick comes sliding into the picture. Roughshod picked that one, knowing it was a fast car, knowing that there was a new champ, and knowing that, hey, this might be the car. It comes in, boom, destroys the Dogfighter. Race number 2, does it again. New champ, SlideKick. SlideKick, new, undisputed, fastest in fleet car. And then, inexplicably, the curiosity, I appreciate it because I was having the same thought. Roughshod said, you know what? Got to see it against the BlitzSpeeder. I agreed. We take him to the track, and then we've got BlitzSpeeder versus SlideKick in a rematch. The BlitzSpeeder takes it. Takes race 1. Comes back, switches lane, takes race 2. The BlitzSpeeder has gone from out of the picture entirely to the new fastest in fleet car. Once again, for its third reign as fastest in fleet car. This is, if there was a all about aerodynamics at the track live Hall of Fame, this is the kind of resume that gets you into the Hall of Fame. This is remarkable what we've seen from this car, which is once again our fastest in fleet car. But we now know that it can be beaten. It's been beaten by the Gazella R. It's been beaten by the Dogfighter. And the Dogfighter has been beaten by the SlideKick. So no car is unbeatable. And with 900 and something cars in the mix, there's probably another car that could beat the BlitzSpeeder. We just have to find it. So that is pretty remarkable. Get this. Now, let's see. Christopher, how does the launcher work? The launcher works basically, so I just have the base right here. This is the base. But there's other parts that attach to it. So there is a like a sled part that goes in through the bottom, and then there are two launching blocks that attach to the top of the sled, and there's a lever right here. There's like the fulcrum kind of lever thing here, and the sled pulls back. There's an elastic band. It's wider than it's not like a regular rubber band. It's like really wide and thick, and so I order them online, and they're really strong, so it takes a lot of force to stretch them out. And because there's so much force that it takes to stretch them out, there's a lot more potential energy. And so once I hit the lever, once I release the lever, that's holding the sled in place. The sled then, the elastic band contracts, and the sled pulls forward. And that's basically how it works. Maybe on Wednesday I'll detach the actual launcher that has all the parts, and then I can show a more clear example. But essentially that's how it works. There is a strong elastic band that attaches at this point, and then there's a sled, and when you pull that sled back and lock it into place here, then that band is stretched, and once you release it, it snaps back, and that's what pulls the sled forward and the launching blocks. And so the stronger that band is, the more force that it takes to expand it, then the more kinetic energy there's going to be when it snaps back, and it's going to pull this sled forward faster, and that is going to end up pushing the cars out faster. And again, I went through a bunch of different designs with this until I landed on the one that was able to get me the maximum amount of speed. And that is basically how it works. Yeah, we have that, and that's why these are the fastest Hot Wheels races. They're faster than the gravity track races. Even when I was there's a video that I have on the YouTube channel where I set up a gravity track using a ladder. It was outdoors, and I set up a gravity track and a flat drag track and have the cars racing against each other. And even then, when I was using the Mattel launcher, the cars were still the Mattel launcher. The cars that went out of the launcher on the flat track were still way faster than the cars on the gravity track. If I used this launcher, it wouldn't even be kind of close. I mean, you would pretty much have to drop, like the gravity track would have to extend. I mean, I had an idea because we did it outside, and so I had the cars, I attached the track to a ladder, and then went up the ladder and had the cars release, and then released them from the launcher. But I had an idea, because you need it in order to get more speed from the gravity track car. It needs to start at a higher point. And so I was thinking, like, I wanted to go up on the roof and have a track that extended from the roof all the way down, and then when it got to a certain point, then launch out the car from the launcher and see if we could get a somewhat competitive race. But I never did that. It is something I'm still thinking about, but it's just a matter of how to do it. But the cars that come out of this launcher are so much faster than what you get on a gravity track that it's not even close. So anyway, it's why drag is so important, such an important force to consider when picking a car, and it's also why the Dogfighter doing as well as it does really just kind of blows my mind. So let's see, Babe later. Yeah, the race was crazy. Let's see, he's asking if do a Halloween race later in October. It's funny because last year I thought about doing that, and like 2 years ago, Hot Wheels put out track. So the regular track is orange, but then they had some in different color. There was a yellow one with an orange stripe, but they had a black one. They had black track with an orange stripe, and I have some here. I just don't have enough to cover the whole length of the track, and they stopped making it. And I think I saw some on eBay, but the price was like a little crazy. But if we do have a Halloween race, I mean, what do you want to? What cars should be in that? I think there are a few Halloween themed cars that I have in there, but I'll try to think of something. If you have any ideas, you can just let me know, and we'll see if we can come up with something, some kind of Halloween thing. I think the only themed races we've had so far have been the Star Wars May the 4th Be With You races, and we took all the Star Wars cars and put those on the track and had a race. But I'll try to think about what cars and what we should do for a Halloween race. But that is what we've got. What's old is new again, and the BlitzSpeeder is back, and the BlitzSpeeder is our fastest in-fleet champion. It was crazy. Roughshods pick the SlideKick. It had that Rey Mysterio title reign of just like it was very brief, but it was a champion for a moment, so it will always be in that list. But we will see what happens next week if we get another car to challenge and beat out the BlitzSpeeder. I saw some picks dropped in. Roughshods got his picks for the tunnel. Christopher has his. He's got 2 picks that he's looking at, so we've already got 4 possibilities. We'll see what happens. So Wind Tunnel Wednesday, 4 p.m. on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. We'll be here putting cars in the wind tunnel, seeing what kind of results we get. Okay, Christopher's he's thinking about Christmas. So yeah, we'll have to see which cars. I know the Rockin' Santa sled. That's an obvious one. Beyond that, I'm not too sure. But we've got a little bit of time to think about that. So we'll be here on Wednesday putting cars in the wind tunnel. We will be back here on Saturday racing the cars. And if you want more information about our science program, aaAerodynamics.com is the place to go. And so for All About Aerodynamics, for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and for At the Track Live, I am Coach James. And until next time, I will see you at the races.